Again, and it gets started Saturday with the Nationwide Series. And our own Jennifer Cobb will be part of that race. Jennifer, welcome back to Metro Sports.
Thank you. It's awesome to be back, not only at Metro Sports, but at the Kansas Speedway this weekend. You
have a lot of experience at that track, and I would think that has to be a good feeling for you to come back with a track that you're familiar with in a series that has become so competitive.
It is. I feel more comfortable going into this weekend than I think any other weekend in the Nationwide Series for sure. This is my fourth race this season, and with my laps at the Kansas Speedway in other races and at the Richard Petty driving experience, I just have a lot more confidence, I think, than I have in many years past.
Jennifer, tell us about your year so far. I know you've had some time in the truck, some time in the ARCA series as well.
Yeah, I have had really a good season racing this year. I've had two NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series races at Kansas Speedway and Kentucky, where we finished 26th in Kentucky. We blew an engine at Kansas. We found some sponsors from the West Coast, the Annexus Group, and of course Providence Medical Center and St. John Hospital were on board at the Kansas race. And then I ran in Chicago for, get this, a rapper, Master P, and a businessman named Jim Finkel, and they were promoting an up-and-coming rap artist called RPM. And so we had a lot of fun running that ARCA race in Chicago with those entities and Better Black TV. And I finished 19th in that race, and that was just earlier this month. So I'm really ready and looking forward to this weekend to race again at home with Providence Medical Center and St. John Hospital.
Jennifer, it's a whole other side of racing that people don't see, is that, you know, the cup cars coming into town, the driver gets out, he's got a backup car in the back of the truck, that he's got an entire crew. Then there's a whole other series of drivers that are trying to make it from race to race. Can you just talk about the struggle of what it takes to field a car in a race and get it done?
Absolutely. We are spending literally 5 figures this weekend up against teams that are spending millions, tens of millions of dollars to race in a season. And so we really are the underdogs, and I have learned to embrace that. I used to want to be with one of those big teams, and I'd be a fool not to still want that. But the reality is, what we're doing with Derek Cope Racing along with Rick Markle Racing is we're taking a little and we're getting a lot out of it. And I have a lot of confidence that we will qualify this weekend. I know in the past and even now it's a question mark, will she qualify or not? 43 cars in the field. There are 48 entries so far for the weekend, but I think that it just says a lot about the fact that we're able to take hometown local sponsors and get these cars into races, and now we're actually getting to the point where we're finishing races. So there's a lot of people out there that give us a hard time because they don't understand the differences, but there are just as many people who understand, and really I get a lot of "you go girls," because the biggest thing people say is, "You just don't give up, do you?" And I say, as long as God keeps giving me opportunities to race, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, you keep going. Here's the schedule of events at Kansas Speedway this weekend. Qualifying on Friday for the Cup cars. On Saturday, of course, the Nationwide race, and then Sunday, the Sprint Cup Series. There you see it. 1:30, you're going to begin practicing on that Nationwide Series, and then the Nationwide race 2:30 on Saturday, and the Sprint Cup cars 1 o'clock. Jennifer Cobb, good luck to you, and you keep fighting. You make it in that field, and we'll be watching you on Saturday.
Never, ever, ever give up, and that's kind of our motto, and we're so happy to be here this weekend. Thanks for having me on.
Jennifer, thank you. Coming up next.